What is this thing my uncle found in a cave in Okinawa, Japan? Around 1966 to 1967. He believes it's from World War II. And he said the top is a rubber seal, and the liquid used to be clear. There are no markings on the bottle. He found this during one of his combat training tours. When he was in the military way back when. He thought it was some type of medication because of the rubber seal to let a needle puncture it. Any idea what is it? It's a poison gas grenade the Japanese used during World War II. They were filled with liquid hydrocyanic acid, a blood gas derived from hydrogen cyanide. It's a clear liquid that vaporizes when released. It is a powerful nerve agent, and in strong concentrations will kill instantly. It is useful for clearing bunkers and other confined spaces. You need to contact the local police and have them send the hazmat and bomb squad. What is this unusual small silver box with a wing on a chain inside? We've had this little box for years and never could identify its purpose. The lid closes with a clasp. The wing-shaped piece is attached to the bottom of the box inside by the chain. There is a small opening in the bottom where the chain is attached. What is this thing? It's a purse hook. You hang it off of the table so your purse doesn't touch the floor. The company that made this one is called Arbin, and it's from mid-century. The hook puts the purse's center of gravity directly under the box, so instead of getting pulled sideways off the table, it pulls the box straight down against the table. What is this thing I found in an old dump site on farmland in Massachusetts? It's cylindrical with threads and kinda like a CO2 canister. It's about 2.5 inches long, with some weird symbols on the ends. What is it? It's an early Schrader valve cap, patented April 30, 1907 by Schrader Universal Valves of Brooklyn, New York. This company made the first tire valves for automobiles by adapting the tire valves they were making for bicycles. This tire stem cover is for Model T cars of this era. What is this metal press thing with a piece of wood? I found it in a ruin in Crete, Greece. It has a huge old log on top. The metal is massive, so I guess it would withstand quite some pressure. What did it press back in the day? It's an old-school olive oil screw press, used for making olive oil in the mid-18th century. It worked by means of the direct action of one or two screws, in which a wooden beam is forced downward by a fixed screw, and was found all over Italy, along the Adriatic coasts, and on some Greek islands. One problem with this type of machine was that the upper beam and the lateral pillars broke down rather easily. What is this metal pole about 7 feet tall, with hooks at the top in the yard of 1910s era Pittsburgh home? The neighbors have these posts as well. The pole is placed about 5 feet inset from the back corner of the property line near the alley. There's a retaining wall that holds up the lawn near the alley, so the alley is about 4 feet lower than this level of the lawn. The pole is in a similar location to the neighbors. Any ideas? It's an 1890s clothesline pole with multiple hooks. There may have been another one closer to the house which was removed, or the other one might have been part of the fence and replaced at some point. Pretty much every yard in the 1920s Philly row homes I grew up in had these, but they're not that common anymore in anything built post-1970s, with dryers being so prevalent. A lot of my neighbors still have them though. What is this metal crank with a wooden knob device and leather strap sticking out possibly used for? We found this in our stepfather's collection. He collected blades and bikes, and an assortment of other stuff. He was also into rock climbing. The piece sticking out is made of leather, and there's a crank with a wooden knob that rotates the leather and metal parts. What could this be used for? It's a mechanized strop, patented July 17, 1900. You mount the blade and then turn the crank to run the leather along the blade, rather than the standard strop where you move the blade along the leather. What is this thing about 12 inches tall with a semi-hollow center to load whatever, and then the plunger pushes down into a hole about half an inch in diameter? Any ideas? It's a French wooden wine bottle corker from the early 20th century. This particular tool would have been principally used at wineries and at the point of wine production, where before complete automation which came later, corks were manually inserted into glass wine bottles individually and by hand, often with the assistance of this rather ingenious wooden tool. It's comprised of an oval-shaped body fashioned from maple hardwood. What is this corkscrew like that has a miniature basin wrench claw at the bottom? The claw pivots and has some small teeth on it. The handle is some sort of composite plastic or ivory or some kind of bone. Any ideas? While dental cavities were sometimes filled with gold or silver during the early 19th century, decaying teeth were often removed. This item is called a tooth key and was used in the 18th and early 19th centuries to remove molars, the large back teeth. The small curved metal arms at the base were set around the affected tooth, and the doctor or dentist grasped the wooden handle at the top. They then twisted and pulled until the tooth loosened and came out. What is this antique press-looking thing found in a yard in Tahoe City, California? It's some sort of short-throw press, human-powered. I've googled the numbers and name on it with no viable results. It looks like it's made of cast iron, and the bottom base has a crank on the left side that moves the table in and out of the press area. There might have been some sort of die that only has half of it. What is this thing? It's a single-sheet printing press. Reliance presses were manufactured in Chicago between 1895 and 1911. Over the course of the 20th century, as printing technology rapidly evolved, hundreds of presses of similar vintage were simply dumped in Lake Ontario, making those that remain particularly valuable. What is this copper and brass tool or train part? The letters stand for East Tennessee Valley and Georgia Railway, but I don't know what it was used for. The tube is hollow but closed on the bottom, and the top unscrews and is open. It's around 14 inches long. The museums have said it's definitely train related, and that's all they know. It's been in my family for years, and we had no clue what it was. Located in Cobb County, Georgia. Any help is appreciated. It's a railroad flare torch from the 19th century. They are commonly used to perform hand signals or used as torches in rail transport applications. It uses a hurricane lamp wick, and it can be filled with kerosene or lamp oil. What is this metal thing with a lip and trapdoor, an attached holding thing with side slots? It weighs 1.5 pounds and measures 7 by 5 by 5 inches. Found in a box of glassware in South Louisiana. The trapdoor can be swiveled by using knobs on either side or pressure on the plate. There are no marks and do not disassemble. The youngest the item could be is late 1970s, but was found with items from the late 19th century. Any ideas? Please leave us a comment. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.